This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 23rd day of September in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. And let's begin this evening in the education sector. The University of Guyana has approved the registration of more than 5,600 new students to pursue studies in various fields at no cost to them, thanks to a policy by the governments of Guyana to abolish all tuition and facility fees for locals. The policy took effect on the 1st of January, but the 2025-2026 academic year, which commenced this week, sees thousands of Guyanese students reaping the benefits in full. At the ceremonial opening of the University of Guyana's 2025-2026 academic year at the Turkine campus, the registrar, Dr. Nigel Gray-Sandy, said 5,633 students were accepted into programs across the university's two campuses at Turkine and Tain, and at the IDCE centers spread across the country, representing a significant increase when compared to 3,776 being accepted last year.
This 5,633 new students represent 51% of the student population currently registered. A number of our continuing students, but at today's historic day, it is the first time in our history that we are welcoming more new students than those that are continuing. And we've seen another milestone. The female population of our new students amounts to 3,956 just after 1 o'clock, and that represents 70% of our student population compared to 2018 female students, representing just around 50% at the same time last year.
About 1,677 male students make up the new student population, representing some 30%. Dr. Gray-Sandy said for the first time in 6 years, more male students have registered and have been accepted into the Faculty of Engineering and Technology when compared to female students. The Vice Chancellor at the University of Guyana, Professor Dr. Paloma Mohammed, said prior to this year, there were 3 primary variables used to determine whether an applicant would attend the university, with the first being the need to apply, followed by whether he or she met the minimum requirement and their ability to pay the tuition fees. However, she said with the government now opting to pay those fees, students who apply are now accepted based on their academic qualification and the availability of space. Well over 20,000 applications were submitted to the university this year, with students hoping to capitalize on the government-funded tuition program. However, the Vice Chancellor said the university was only able to accept a fraction.
But to those whom much is given, much is expected. Remember, I said to you that for each of you who has gotten a place, there are at least 2 others who didn't get a place. So we don't want you to squander that opportunity.
Dr. Mohammed said while the university is now tuition-free, its rules and regulations are still in effect, adding that should students fail their exams or courses, it is not reasonable to expect that the state or taxpayers should be made to pay for such failure. Regulations, she emphasized, will be tight, adding that at all times students must show respect for the staff at the university. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
We're celebrating the World Maritime Day 2025 in a big way, exhibition style. An amazing sea of opportunities awaits you in the maritime sector. Come on down to the Providence National Stadium on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 and meet the movers and shakers in the maritime industry. Learn about ships, port operations, career and maritime training and opportunities, and interact with maritime professionals and industry leaders. This is for one day only, from 9 hours to 16 hours. Witness an amazing array of boats, maritime equipment, and more on vessels on display. Join us for the World Maritime Day exhibition, hosted by the Maritime Administration Department, Ministry of Public Utilities and Aviation. It's our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity. See you there, open to everyone.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Quartz presents the Home Event 2025, happening now at Quartz stores nationwide. It's the perfect time to refresh your home. Come explore new arrivals, best sellers, and deals you can't resist. Discover the widest range of stylish furniture, cutting-edge TVs, audio systems, and appliances that are smart and energy efficient, all backed by the Quartz low price guarantee. Our experts will help you choose what you need for your home. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and get more. Don't miss the Quartz Home Event 2025. Quartz, bringing value home.
Get ready, Guyana! It's CPL! It's carnival time! It's time for the biggest party of the year! On Saturday, September 27th, Kingston Beach comes alive with nothing but pure vibes as the Republic Bank, Pan, Brass, and Soca. A night of rhythm, energy, and pure vibes.
They should know!
Look out for Mixmaster Tony, Selecta Andre, Kun Jazz Steel Ensemble, Guyana Police Force Steel Orchestra, OKC, Omaya Hall, Carlvin Burnett, A.W. Lyrical, The Troy, The Pianist, Heatwave Band, Johan Chukari, Adam Hagley, and the Insomniacs Band. And straight out of Trinidad and Tobago, the one and only Young Bretta. Hand Brass and Soca is supported by Republic Bank Limited, Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, Star Party Rentals, Discover Guyana, New GPC, DS Ramsey Hall & Sons Jewelry, German's Restaurant, and Beacon Cafe. Ticket prices of $5,000. VIP access is $20,000. Tickets available at the National Cultural Center box office. Don't forget, Pan, Brass, and Soca, September 27th at Kingston Beach.
Three police divisions are reporting a decrease in murders and serious crimes. But as law enforcement officers are getting a grip of the crime situation, they are faced with new challenges of getting successful prosecutions. In many of the court cases, witnesses have been failing to show up in court to offer evidence, and victims are now opting to settle the cases outside of the court, then refusing to give evidence. Assistant Commissioner of Police and Commander of Regional Division 4C, Kali Parshram, noted the issue in a program released by the police force. Mr. Parshram said while the police have been doing their best to ensure that they move as quickly as possible to have criminal matters go through the court system, they have no control over decisions made by victims and witnesses outside of the courthouse.
The thing is, what I would have observed in Regional Division 4C is that we would have seen over the past few months, and in fact, or it could go back to 2 years, an increased number of matters being dismissed due to the negligence of witnesses. One, witnesses are not appearing in court, and two, some victims are now going to court to settle their matters we would have seen matters as serious as robberies now being settled in court.
The Assistant Police Commissioner said the trend has led the police to come up with new strategies to deal with the situation, since it is impacting their crime-fighting efforts.
So when these matters are settled, these are the same offenders that are released freely back in society to commit again. And this is one of the things that we have been looking at. We are now working on a strategy to come up with a strategy on how we could deal with such situations, because it do affect our cases, our prosecution rate, and as I said earlier, it's actually sending the suspect back in the same communities to commit themselves again.
Mr. Parashram said while the police force is at most times at the receiving end of criticism for unsuccessful prosecutions, citizens must also take into account that the police do not always get the cooperation from witnesses and victims. While expressing similar sentiments, Commander for the Region 10 area, Assistant Police Commissioner Curly Simon, described the crime situation in that region as being quiet. However, he said following the unrest earlier this year in Linden, the police in the region are trying to rebuild relations with the communities across the town.
We have, like I said, we are working in rebuilding our relationship with members of or citizens of Linden. We are seeing positive growth in the field because we are constantly doing our community outreaches. We have 4 youth groups that we are still monitoring and managing. And we still have cooperation from our community policing groups.
He also reported a more than 40% reduction in serious crimes in Region 10. Region 7 is also reporting a drop in crime, according to its commander, Assistant Commissioner Dion Moore.
When we look at crime holistically, we find most of these murders are disorderly murders. The robbery and the arms, they are committed in those mining areas, not predominantly within the business hub, which is Bartico.
The Guyana Police Force has been facing some criticism over its crime-fighting efforts, especially in the larger and more populated areas. We return to that ongoing election fraud case tonight. Former presidential candidate of the Liberty and Justice Party, Lennox Shuman, today admitted that he had no documentary evidence to support his claims of irregularities during the 2020 general and regional elections. He made that admission as he was grilled for a second day by attorney-at-law Nigel Hughes. On Monday, Mr. Shuman testified that he had repeatedly objected to a number of discrepancies during the tabulation of the votes cast in Region 4 and had calls to approach the then Chief Election Officer, Keith Lowenfield, twice after there was, according to him, an attempt to abort the use of statements of poll in exchange for a populated spreadsheet. But when he re-entered the witness box today, he admitted on the cross-examination that all he had was his recollection of what allegedly transpired, stating repeatedly that he had no documentary evidence to support his claims. In responding to a series of questions posed by attorney Nigel Hughes, Mr. Shuman admitted further that he never provided the Guyana Police Force with any documentary evidence of the inconsistencies he allegedly witnessed during the course of the 2020 elections. At the start of his cross-examination on Monday, Shuman told the court that at the conclusion of the national recount back in 2020, his party destroyed all election-related material. When asked if the only evidence he possesses today of what he called alleged inconsistencies is his recollection, Shuman responded in the affirmative. On Monday, while being cross-examined by Mr. Hughes, Shuman told the court that though he had protested against the irregularities and inconsistencies during the tabulation of votes at the Ashman Center, the LJP had only filed one complaint in the form of a request for a recount of votes cast in Region 4. He said copies of that request for a recount were also destroyed. Shuman was also unable to provide information on the number of ballot boxes or SOPs that were allegedly affected, admitting further that his party did not keep any records. 9 election officials and political leaders, including the former Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield and former Deputy Chief Election Officer Roxanne Myers, are on trial, accused of attempting to declare fraudulent results during the course of the 2020 elections. They have all denied the charges against them.
We're celebrating the World Maritime Day 2025 in a big way, exhibition style. An amazing sea of opportunities awaits you in the maritime sector. Come on down to the Providence National Stadium on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 and meet the movers and shakers in the maritime industry. Learn about ships, port operations, career and maritime training and opportunities, and interact with maritime professionals and industry leaders. This is for one day only, from 9 hours to 16 hours. Witness an amazing array of boats, maritime equipment, and more on vessels on display. Join us for the World Maritime Day exhibition, hosted by the Maritime Administration Department, Ministry of Public Utilities and Aviation. It's our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity. See you there, open to everyone.
Get ready, Guyana. It's CPL. It's carnival time. It's time for the biggest party of the year. On Saturday, September 27th, Kingston Beach comes alive with nothing but pure vibes as the Republic Bank, Pan, Brass, and Soca. A night of rhythm, energy, and pure vibes.
They should know.
Look out for Mixmaster Tony, Selector Andre, Kunjaz Steel Ensemble, Guyana Police Force Steel Orchestra, OKC, Omaya Hall, Carlvin Burnett, A.W. Lyrical, The Troy, The Pianist, Heatwave Band, Johan Chukuri, Adam Hagley, and the Insomniacs Band. And straight out of Trinidad and Tobago, the one and only Young Bretta. Pan Brass and Soca is supported by Republic Bank Limited, Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, Star Party Rentals, Discover Guyana, New GPC, DS Ramsey Hall & Sons Jewelry, German's Restaurant, and Beacon Cafe. Ticket prices of $5,000. VIP access is $20,000. Tickets available at the National Cultural Center box office. Don't forget, Pan, Brass, and Soca, September 27th at Kingston Beach.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
In the aviation sector, Guyana and the Middle Eastern state of Oman on Monday signed an air services agreement to encourage and facilitate airlines operating air services between the two countries, as well as to other nations. The signing ceremony took place in Montreal, Canada, on the sidelines of the 42nd International Civil Aviation Organization Assembly. The agreement was signed by the Director General of Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, and Naif Ali Al Abri, the Chairman of the Oman Civil Aviation Authority. In addition to the standard articles on designation of airlines, the agreement also covers application of laws and regulations, cooperative agreements and arrangements, tariffs, recognition of certificates and license, aviation safety, aviation security, user charges, and other areas. The head of Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, said the agreements are necessary and create the legal foundation that will help Guyana realize the President's vision of Guyana becoming an international hub for air connectivity, more so with the construction of a modern Terminal B at the Chedijagan Airport. There are currently no direct flights between Guyana and Oman. However, the agreement provides market access for airlines to operate and improve competitive air transport services, trade, and economic growth between the two nations. Oman Air, one of Oman's national airlines, operates in at least 22 countries and serves over 37 destinations worldwide, including flights to Africa, the Far East, Europe, the Indian subcontinent, the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the Middle East, and North Africa. It is expected that the agreement will encourage interest from Omani airlines to consider including Guyana in their network. The agreement complements the more than 50 air services agreements that Guyana currently has established with other international civil aviation states to develop air connectivity among those countries. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has made yet another appeal for parents to allow their children ages 9 to 15 years old to take the human papillomavirus vaccine, emphasizing that it guards against cervical cancer in women. In July, the Health Ministry introduced the APV9 vaccine to fight cervical cancer. Some 50,000 doses have been obtained.
So again, we want to make sure that for those boys and girls between 9 and 15, that we ensure that all of them get their HPV vaccination. And it's in all the different health centers across the country.
Minister Anthony at the time was speaking at the recent launch of the influenza vaccine. The 9-valent vaccine protects against 9 of the common HPV strains that cause cervical cancer and is 90% effective. The vaccine that was previously administered was quadrivalent, according to the Health Ministry. The new and enhanced version of the vaccine offers more protection.
For that age group between 9 and 15, we want to move it up to at least 90% coverage. And again, what the WHO is recommending is that once we go up to 90% coverage and maintain it at 90% coverage, then over the next couple of years, we can start working towards eliminating cervical cancer from Guyana.
The Health Minister reminded that present in Guyana, cervical cancer is the number 2 cancer among women, coming just after breast cancer. Cervical cancer, he said, is preventable, and it is therefore important for women to take the HPV vaccine. It was noted that the HPV vaccine available in Guyana is the best in the world market. 2 doses of the vaccine are administered to young girls between the ages of 9 and 15, while women between the ages of 16 and 45 are required to take 3 doses. HPV is one of the most common sexually transmitted infections in the world and is responsible for a range of diseases, including cervical, anal, vaginal, and penile cancers. 49-year-old Diamond East Bank Demerara businessman Alvin Parag has been charged and remanded to jail over allegations that he was involved in the trafficking of a 31-year-old Cuban woman. Parag appeared at the Diamond Magistrates Court this morning, where the charge was read to him. He pleaded not guilty to the charge of trafficking in persons, as the prosecution team objected to bail being granted. The presiding magistrate refused bail and set the 6th of October for the continuation of the case. The 49-year-old accused has been remanded to prison. The police report on the incident states that the offense took place between the 29th of March and the 7th of June this year at Diamond on the east bank of the Marara. The police said it intends to work along with other stakeholders in combating reports of trafficking in persons in the country. Guyana has been listed as a country where trafficking in persons takes place. The U.S. State Department has revealed that while there have been efforts to address the problem, the issue remains.
Get ready, Guyana! It's CPL! It's carnival time! It's time for the biggest party of the year! On Saturday, September 27th, Kingston Beach comes alive with nothing but pure vibes as the Republic Bank, Pan, Brass, and Soca. A night of rhythm, energy, and pure vibes.
They should know!
Look out for Mixmaster Tony, Selector Andre, Kunjaz Steel Ensemble, Guyana Police Force Steel Orchestra, OKC, Omaya Hall, Carlvin Burnett, A.W. Lyrical, The Troy, The Pianist, Heatwave Band, Johan Chukuri, Adam Hagley, and the Insomniacs Band. And straight out of Trinidad and Tobago, the one and only Young Bretta. Pan, Brass, and Soca is supported by Republic Bank Limited, Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, Star Party Rentals, Discover Guyana, New GPC, DS Ramsey Hall & Sons Jewelry, German's Restaurant, and Beacon Cafe. Ticket prices of $5,000. VIP access is $20,000. Tickets available at the National Cultural Center box office. Don't forget, Pan, Brass, and Soca, September 27th at Kingston Beach.
Live the island dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes, plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude, and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude, or Viva. Find the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details.
Live the island dream, get money. Live the island dream.
We're celebrating the World Maritime Day 2025 in a big way, exhibition style. An amazing sea of opportunities awaits you in the maritime sector. Come on down to the Providence National Stadium on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 and meet the movers and shakers in the maritime industry. Learn about ships, port operations, career and maritime training and opportunities, and interact with maritime professionals and industry leaders. This is for one day only, from 9 hours to 16 hours. Witness an amazing array of boats, maritime equipment, and more on vessels on display. Join us for the World Maritime Day exhibition, hosted by the Maritime Administration Department, Ministry of Public Utilities and Aviation. It's our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity. See you there, open to everyone.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, the U.S. on Monday imposed sanctions on the wife of the judge who presided over the criminal case of right-wing former President Jair Bolsonaro, and also yanked the visas of 6 high-ranking officials, escalating a showdown between the Trump administration and the Brazilian government. widening the penalties targeting Brazil's judiciary. President Donald Trump's administration imposed sanctions on Viviane Barcy de Moraes, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, under authorities provided by the Global Magnitsky Act, the U.S. Treasury Department said. It also imposed sanctions on the Lex Institute, a financial entity controlled by Barcy de Moraes and other family members. The U.S. government believes the Lex Institute could serve as a vehicle to evade pre-existing sanctions, a senior administration official said. The new sanctions underline Trump's use of financial penalties for political ends. An autopsy on the battered body of 11-year-old Maria Sanat has confirmed she died from blunt force trauma to the head, consistent with a beating, following her discovery along a bushy track in Friendship Village, Trinidad and Tobago, on Sunday afternoon. Her father, 40-year-old carpenter Marlon Sanat, wept as he revisited the scene Monday, pointing to her slippers on the track where he believes she was ambushed. He said his daughter's neck and abdomen bore marks of strangulation and her nose appeared twisted and broken. The San Fernando East secondary student had left her grandmother's home early that morning to walk home, a route she and her sisters use often. Hours later, her lifeless body was found by a passerby near the recreation ground. Sanat described Maria as one of a kind, a respectful child who loved football and helped her grandmother and looked after her siblings. Her school community and the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association both issued tributes, remembering her as a bright spark whose life was cruelly cut short. The Football Association called her killing a painful reminder of the need to confront violence, especially against women and children. And finally tonight, international news. Donald Trump told the United Nations General Assembly it's time to end the failed experiment of open borders, as he accused the United Nations of facilitating an invasion of Western countries, according to a report published by the BBC. According to that report, Trump singled out Europe, saying the continent is in serious trouble over migration, while also criticizing its failure to cut off Russian energy products as embarrassing. In his wide-ranging speech, he describes climate change as the greatest con job ever, as he said the U.S. predictions were wrong. The U.S. president also brought up his claims about ending 7 wars since his White House return. He said the UN did not even try to help find a solution. He iterated that recognizing a Palestinian state would be a reward for the terrible atrocities Hamas has committed, telling the group to release the hostages now. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.